Hey everybody, Michael Snyder here, Pacific Northwest Weather Chasers. Today is December 31st, last day of the year, 11 a.m. here. Checking out the satellite imagery here, you can see our system, the remnants of it kind of sliding southeast, and you can kind of still see those clouds as they were dragging across the Puget Sound there. That's what brought up to an inch through the Puget Sound there on a convergence zone yesterday. A little bit of reinforcement from the north there and some weak wind convergence over the sound there. We still got some residual snow over the Cascades of Oregon and eastern Oregon. That's kind of sliding off. That should be dissipating during the day. So our next system, you probably heard some chatter about it on social media for Sunday night into Monday morning for the Pacific Northwest. The origin of that is out here over Alaska right now. We're going to have cold air spilling off of Alaska. And it's also going to be building down into British Columbia here. And the trajectory of this cold air is going to come all the way across the Gulf of Alaska. So it's going to modify some. It's not going to be straight off the continent Arctic air mass. So we're going to have to look into some detail as what's going to happen for the Pacific Northwest with this storm. Checking out some current weather advisories now. You can still see we have that wind chill advisory out there for Omak, the Okanagan River Valley. The wind's coming down. That's going to expire here in the next hour. So you're probably aware of that if you're out in that area anyway. We've got special weather statements all across the region here, especially eastern Washington and Oregon. Some temperatures are going to get below zero, especially like places Spokane, eastern Washington, and then there's going to be some right around zero through eastern Oregon. Tonight is going to be really chilly on into tomorrow morning. So if you're out and about celebrating the new year, you might want to have heads up on that. The same goes for Seattle, Portland, even the coastal regions of Washington and Oregon are get really chilly tonight, down into the 20s. So heads up there. The only place that may not is the southern Oregon coast. And let's take a look at what is coming up here. So I wanted to show you this. You can see the very cold air over Canada, mostly east of the Rockies, but plenty of it still over BC here and Alaska. These are temperatures at 2,500 feet. And I wanted to show you this. Notice this air mass here moving off of Alaska. Watch as that comes out over the water here, and it makes its way towards the Pacific Northwest. And you can see it kind of modifies some. You know, it's a lower level. We're looking at lower level temperatures here, so they're going to warm up a little bit there going across the ocean, the relatively warm ocean there. And so you see that longer trajectory. So that means our lower air mass is going to be modified some by the time it reaches us. So as we go up a little bit more, here's 5,000 feet. Notice this air mass up here coming off of the South Alaska coast there. And as it swings into our region there, it's not quite as modified. Right there, that cold air starts getting in above us. At 5,000 feet, the warming effects of the ocean are less. Let's take a look at 10,000 now. Here goes the air mass coming off of Alaska here, and you can see that just kind of rush down into our area. And you'll see that cold air just overtake us there on Monday morning. So the temperatures aloft will be chilly with this system. But then that's going to change a bit into our future, and we'll go over that a bit here too. So this is that Arctic air. This is 850 millibar temperature anomalies. You can see this big mass of abnormally cold air moving down the east side of the Rockies there. You can see this cold air spilling off of Alaska. You get some cyclogenesis here. And that's why we're going to warm up a bit with this next system. And our Arctic air mass is going to get scoured by this system. And you can see British Columbia is still plenty cold. That's a little bit too far for Western Washington. But with this system, places like southern BC, places trapped in the valleys here too, might hang out. This cold air might hang out a bit longer. So here we are into the Euro. Check this cold air mass going to be diving into the Midwest and the plains there. So if you're traveling out there or know anybody out there, heads up. Looking at the pressure map here too, you can see that big low developing over the Gulf of Alaska up there and swinging down towards Pacific Northwest. Here we go into Sunday afternoon, and you can see some of the gradients across the region tightening up pretty good. And there's going to be some pretty high winds over some of the areas of eastern Oregon here, and we got to watch that for eastern Washington too. And the Sound is probably going to get a burst of wind there too. Check out that tight gradient southwesterly just blasting through the Sound on Sunday afternoon. So it's going to warm us up. But then as the front comes through on into Monday morning, it's going to bring some powerful precipitation rates, and that's what's going to try to drop the snow level down in western Washington mainly. And eastern Washington, it's going to all be snow. Eastern Oregon, all snow. They got some significant snowfalls coming up there for the east portions of the state, so we'll look at that too. And you can see that Arctic air mass slide down and build into southern BC, but you'll notice that stays a bit too far north to affect most of the areas of western Washington and Oregon here. But it's going to remain cold in eastern Washington and Oregon here. And you'll notice that Arctic air mass slide down the east side of the Rockies there as we get more Pacific systems moving in here. And we'll have to look at those on a case-by-case basis as we get out into the future. Zooming in a bit here, let's go ahead and look at, this is Sunday here. You notice how we warm up. Rain mostly through the lowlands. Coming on the Oregon coast here, western Washington, Cascades, of course, snow. But look at southern British Columbia there. The cold air trapped up in here. And we're going to have to watch this for significant snowfalls north, mainly north of the Washington border, maybe including Bellingham, Whatcom County there too. And then looking on into late Sunday night, check out this burst of snow that occurs across western Washington, all the way down towards Portland. And then look how this spreads into eastern Washington here too. Moderate to heavy snowfall rates possible with this system. You notice that some of the warm air does seep into the basin there, lower levels, so there's going to be some warm air near the surface out there in eastern Washington and on the other side of the gorge in eastern Oregon. And then you can see the next Pacific system kind of slam into the Oregon coast there and continue the snowfall for the region. Check out eastern Washington again, getting more snowfall. And then another system starts approaching later on too. And this actually starts at snow a bit, but we're getting too far out for attention to detail on that system yet. So now this is the temperature when that snow burst is coming through. So I think this is more realistic with the European. It says right above freezing, but with an intense precipitation band over us, I think it could drop to close to freezing while the precipitation is occurring. So you could see some slushy accumulations. And we're going to have to watch this closely. This is for Sunday night going into Monday morning. If we look at the GFS, it's showing a similar snow burst. We kind of warm up there during the day on Sunday. And then that precipitation rate increases with this powerful front that's going to slide through the region there. And the GFS is showing colder temperatures. And I believe this, you can't totally discount it, but it's pulling air through, for example, the Stampede gas, and it's going to keep the dry air coming through there. So it'll lower the temperature with that precipitation. The heavy precip will keep the temperature below freezing according to the GFS. I'm leaning towards the Euro right now. I think it's going to stay just above freezing, but this bears watching. And check out eastern Oregon and Washington, just really still remains cold as we go into Monday and Tuesday morning. You see no real warm up over there. And let's look at the European here too, because I trust the temperatures a bit more there. Let's see what it does for the west side. You'll notice how we get to the upper 30s for Seattle. Willamette Valley is up to the mid 40s. Washington, Oregon coast, you guys can put away the parka for a while. Warms into the 40s. And you'll see some of the lowland areas in eastern Oregon, Washington get above freezing there, but places like Spokane, Pendleton area stay below freezing, especially in the higher terrain. You're definitely going to be below freezing. Then the European cools us off a little bit there with that next system going south. So we could flirt with snow with that one too, but we're getting a little bit far out into the future there for details again. Let's take a look at the Canadian model here too. So you notice that system out there in the Arctic air mass on the move. Powerful front moves through Sunday night into Monday. Look at this powerful gradient moving through the area. Mountainous areas are going to be blizzard-like conditions. And you can see that eastern Oregon heads up out there. I mean, that you could be in a full-blown blizzard out in eastern portions of Oregon there. And like we saw, Spokane, a lot of eastern Washington remains in the snow. You notice how the Canadian kind of keeps that air mainly east of the Rockies, built it into central BC, but not close enough to reinforce any Arctic air into western Washington or Oregon yet. It is kind of close, and that does build up over the Yukon pretty well, but you see these systems that are going to kind of keep that cold air bottled up north of us. But check out this Arctic air intrusion for the eastern or east of the Rockies there, and then you see this big storm developing out in the east. So that's going to make headlines if this verifies out east. So they might finally get in on some of the winter weather action over there. Get the Canadian here too. You'll notice that as you go into Sunday afternoon into Monday morning, it keeps it generally, I mean, right on the border of some rain, snow, but it's not as, it doesn't show as much snow as the European and the GFS showing. The Canadian's been a warmer model here, and then it shows this next system coming in here and just really blasting eastern Washington and Oregon with a couple potent snowstorms. So if you guys love the snow and you can get east, that is the place to go coming up. Check out this. This is a wind swath. These are high wind speeds over the next throughout hour 204, going out through next weekend. And you can see some of these wind speeds here especially for the higher terrains in Oregon with good snowfall rates. You could be in downright blizzard conditions out there. Check out some of these high winds with some of these systems coming into that powerful front moving through Sunday night all the way down through the Oregon coast. Some powerful winds raking the coastline there. So still active weather going on, and we'll have to see what that Arctic air does, if it does slide east of the Rockies, or if it builds back up into British Columbia. That's still a possibility, but the pattern is hinting that that's going to move further east and kind of give us a break from the Arctic air. So here's Astoria, and check this out. Tonight into tomorrow morning, all the way down to the mid-20s. Hard freeze coming for Astoria. Newport, looks like you're going to get below freezing all the way down there on the Oregon coast tonight. So heads up there for some black ice. Quileute, look at this, mid-20s and not getting above freezing today, it looks like, for the Washington coast. So if you're out and about on the coastlines, it's going to get cold tonight. Let's check out Portland. Hard freeze coming. Look, a lot of teens in those ensembles there. Seattle, same thing. Looks like upper teens according to the European model early tomorrow morning. Let's check out Spokane now. Check out some of these temperatures. Look at this signal. -14, -10. I don't know if it would get that cold, but I would be expecting probably some below zero temperatures for Spokane into tomorrow morning. So heads up there. Check Pendleton. Looks like it's going to get down towards zero also for Pendleton, Oregon. Check Bend, Oregon. Look at that, single digits. So, yeah, the headline is going to be really cold temperatures for tonight into tomorrow morning across the entire region, all the way out to the coastlines. And taking a look at some of the headlines here, too. Let's look at, this is for Pendleton. Check these temperatures out. Just bitter cold. Look at Walla Walla, -1. Pasco, 5. Pendleton, below 0. LeGrand, Enterprise, Troy. Really cold all throughout the eastern portions of the state. -2 in Ellensburg. Intense. Here's Spokane. Look, yeah, they're highlighting it there too. Look at Spokane, 5 below. Wenatchee, 3. Pullman, below 0. Republic, -12. And then the Spokane National Weather Service talking about snowy weather next week. We looked at that in the models and we saw the same thing. So blowing, drifting snow, several rounds of accumulating snowfall. And yeah, the winter is going to continue right on for eastern portions of the Washington and Oregon states. And yeah, we'll see how that snow, what this looks like for Seattle. We'll be watching it closely here over the next day or two, and we'll try to see just how much snow Seattle could get. And it looks like the warm-up is coming though. So if you don't like the snow, there is some relief coming, but just be aware of that snow potential Sunday night to Monday morning. But it should, once the band crosses over us, it should rise back above freezing, and we'll have rapid melting after that. So that's good news. It's not going to be the ice box that we got going outside right now. Everything is just frozen solid. We shouldn't get above freezing today on Friday, December 31st. And tomorrow we'll finally go above freezing later on in the evening, it looks like. But tomorrow morning, very cold across the entire region. So I may do another video tonight. I was so tired last night, I just had to crash. I couldn't do a Q&A because I woke up so early to go chase that snow there for SeaTac. But you can see the ridge kind of finally starting to relax a bit over the region, which is going to give access to this storm crossing the Gulf of Alaska and coming our way next. So say bye-bye to that ridge that brought us 5 straight days of measurable snowfall for Seattle. But I have a hunch our winter is not over with us by a long shot. This winter, it seems like anything that can happen will, and I expect it to be back in full force here in the next few weeks. So hope you guys are liking these videos. Click like and subscribe, and I'll talk to you guys later. Check back for Twitter for immediate updates, and I'll probably do a Q&A at some point tonight and a live stream, and then I'll put another video tomorrow as scheduled. So talk to you guys later. Thanks.